Hello, it's week 2 of season 4 of the Andy Griffith Show. The week's episode title is The Haunted House. Barney, Hulty and a friend of his are practicing hitting a dice doll. And one of the times, the dice doll goes in the window of the old vacant Renshaw house. And they start going in there to go get the doll, but first they hear some spooky noises, and they run away. And meanwhile, back in the courthouse, Andy wants to let Otis out of jail, but I think he doesn't look steady enough, and I want to give him a sobriety test. And I take a rope up to him, and I tell him he's going to have to jump it, but he don't want to. And I say, Otis, it's either this, or you tell us where you didn't get in all that moonshine. If not, you're going to have to jump. It's just that simple. Now watch, Otis. So I have Otis and Andy hold the rope while I jumped, and I yell out, call for the doctor, call for the nurse, call for the lady with the alligator purse. Now, Otis, you do that, or you won't leave. Now get over there. But before Otis can get over there and try it, the boys come running in and say, Paul, Barney, we just heard ghosts over at the Renshaw house. And Andy says, oh, it's probably just the wind. And I say, of course that's all it was, just the wind. What else could it be? Now, like the sheriff says, you're both big boys now. You can't go through life being scared of your own shadow. Like I've always said, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. And Andy tells the boys to stay away from that house, and that we'll see about their dice doll. And then when the boys leave, Andy tells me to go get the doll. And I say I can't leave. I gotta give Otis his sobriety test. You can't do it, Andy, 'cause you don't know the verses or anything. And Andy says, Barney, you wouldn't be shying away from going over there, scared to go. And I say, shying away? You heard what I told them boys, standing right back there. You heard what I told them. I'm going. And then Goner comes in, and I ask Goner to come with me. And Andy asks about it, and I tell Andy, well, of course I'm taking Goner, for the boys' sake. That way both of us can show them that there's nothing to be afraid of. You did everything, you know that, Andy? And then Goner don't want to go in alone, and I say, all right, if you're going to be scaredy-catted at it, I'll go in with you. But when we go up, we hear a spooky noise, and we run away and go back to the courthouse. And I tell Andy, when old man Renshaw died, he said he didn't want that place disturbed, and we ought to respect the wishes of the dear departed. All I'm saying is that there are some things beyond the ken of mortal man that shouldn't be tampered with. I'll die ulti another dice doll. So Andy says, okay, if both of y'all are scared, I'll go with you. So all three of you go back. And you walk in, and you shortly after walking in, you find the baseball. And then Andy goes in another room to look, and then Gomer gets pulled into another room while you're not looking. And when Andy comes back, I tell him, Andy, Goner's gone. He was here 1 minute and gone the next. Now do you believe that I told you about this place? Huh? Now do you believe me? And then Goner shows back up. He says he stepped into a closet, and then someone pushed him out. And then I see the eyes in a taining move. And I tell Andy we need to get out of here. But Andy wants to look around. He thinks some old tramp might be staying here. And he goes upstairs and he tells us to look in the cellar. And then we see the eyes in the taining move again. And we look real briefly down the cellar stairs, and then Andy comes back and he sees the eyes in the taining move. And then we all hear knocking on the wall. So now Andy is scared too, and we all run out. But then the audience sees Otis and another guy come out. It was them that's been making these noises all this time and looking through the painting. And they've been doing this so they can scare people off and run a still in the house. But then Andy comes back and he moves an axe with wires in the air, and he throws a ball down the stairs, and he's doing this to scare them. And then he looks through the painting at them too. But Goner and I don't know that yet. Then Andy went back in, and we're worried about Andy. And I say, you think he's still in there? We can't leave him in there. We gotta go back. Goner, you keep an eye out here. I'll go in the back way. And then I see the axe and the eyes, and I hear a noise, but then Andy comes up, and he takes the axe off the wires, and he says, come on, we gotta dust up the still. Then I say, moonshining? That's what it was? You know, I thought it was something along them very lines the whole time. And then a few days later, a federal agent comes by to say, congratulations to you all for catching the moonshiner. And he's talking to Andy outside, and he wants to go in to congratulate you. But then he goes in the courthouse, and he sees you and Gomer jumping rope. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week for episode 3 of season 4.